Hey there, I'm back for just something a little bit extra if you'd like to. My fifth graders here at school had to do their first Arayni landscape that was just on a piece of rectangle paper, but they're all asked to do a second one as well. So, for the second one they have the option of doing different shapes. If you looked at the Arayni Google slideshow, you would have noticed that she likes to paint within some interesting shapes like triangles or hexagons or circles, squares, rectangles, but she oftentimes does those interesting shapes. She works on a pretty small scale, so some of us in fifth grade are moving on to those more interesting shapes. I'm going to show you a couple things. So first of all, if you have any painter's tape at your house, the painter's tape is good because it doesn't stick permanently to the paper. It hopefully won't tear your paper when you pull it up. So what I did is I used the painter's tape to create a triangle shape. And within that triangle shape, I included like the mountain lines that I'd like to. If you look at the video I've attached to the slideshow, it'll also talk about creating, it shows you how to draw a tent or a river running through where your mountains are. You could just do a tree line and you could just have silhouettes of trees coming up from the bottom, and that would be fine too. Any of those things are fine. I just want to show you what it looks like when you're all done. So the reason why we put that tape there, the painter's tape will hold the color in so it won't get on the rest of your paper. So I'm going to go and I'm going to start painting this just like we did before. I'm right up against my marker, my Sharpie, my mountain lines, and I can actually go right over top of the tape. Now I don't want to go further than my tape. I want to just go right up to my tape. And one thing I failed to mention is I did do a Sharpie outline along the edge just to give it a border or a frame. So I'm going to extend that up a little further now. I'm going to move on with my next color. Blend that in. I'm going right up to that painter's tape that I have there. Put it onto my blue violet. And then my violet at the top here. My violet is not very wet right now, but my violet at the top. So all of those beautiful colors blend together. Again, I use those analogous colors. Now one thing I didn't mention before, instead of doing the white acrylic paint, you could also sprinkle a little salt onto your paper. The salt will pick up some of that color. It acts like a little teeny sponge, so as it dries, the salt absorbs the liquid and you'll be left with a white speckled look when you're all done. But what happens when you peel the tape, and normally I would wait until this was all dry, but when I peel the tape, you're going to have a nice perfect edge of color. Oops, I just stuck my finger in the wetness. I have that perfect line. So I have that really nice triangle. So what I would do when I was all done with that, I'm looking, I don't have a straight edge or a ruler around, but what I would do is I would take my ruler and I would create that frame around my painting. And then I would cut it out. And I would have a really beautiful piece of art. I would finish my landscape too, of course. I'm trying to wait for that salt to dry so I can show you that salt, but it's not coming up. So there is my almost finished one. I just would need to finish my mountain lines and my trees. But if you do have painter's tape, that's a little something extra that you can try. All right, my friends, don't forget to post pictures of your finished paintings. I cannot wait to see them. Hope you're doing great, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.